How do I start a YouTube video again? Damn, it's been too fucking long. So I just got back from vacation, right? And as soon as I got back, I just had a shit ton of things to take care of, and I haven't really had time to like think of new ideas for YouTube videos and all that stuff. So I was like, let me just watch some anime and play some old games and shit. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past like 2 weeks. So I'm watching all this content, reading all this manga, and I'm realizing like it's not really anything I can talk about right now. It's not something that's like relevant, but I came across some news on social media and I found out that Record of Ragnarok actually got its own anime adaptation on Netflix. So I dropped everything and I was like, you know, I gotta check this anime out right now. I did not read the manga, but everywhere I look on YouTube and social media, everyone was always talking about this manga. And lately when it comes to newer series, I haven't really been trying to like read the manga first. I've kind of just been trying to go anime only for new stuff as much as possible, because I don't know, I find as like there's less people to talk to about manga these days. I feel like none of my friends or any of my acquaintances, nobody reads manga. Like if they're into anime, they're watching anime. So like, what's the point of being ahead of the curve if nobody else is there to talk with you about it? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, didn't read the manga. So following that little trend of mine, I kind of just waited for the anime to come out. Now I've just got to say that Record of Ragnarok is actually sleep-inducing. Really, like literally, I've used like 2 episodes a night to go to sleep. Now this anime isn't terrible. It is actually, I would say, is actually quite good, but it's just that compared to what's at the top these days, I don't know, it feels kind of weird. It feels like the focus of the show should be combat, which means that like animation should be like top tier, top priority at least, but it's just not there. And I guess if I were to describe the show in one word, I would just call it bloated. Now this is the part of the video where I'm actually going to talk about the contents of this season, and if you haven't completed it, obviously spoiler warning. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to get the fuck up out of here. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. So again, if I'm assuming correctly and that the main focus of this show is to be combat, then there's just way too much exposition going on, and it's like every character that is not in the ring is Brock from Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like somebody attacks and they're like, he attacked. It's a strong attack. Oh my god, that attack was so strong. An attack is fast. Oh my goodness, that attack was so fast. There's just an explanation for everything, and it's completely unnecessary, and I wouldn't have minded. I think the flashbacks are fine. I think the backstories of the characters are what make the combat like it's interesting enough, you know. I do actually think that the concept themselves of each warrior is actually pretty entertaining. Do the flashbacks need to be that long? I don't think so, but that's what we got. When it comes to characters that are not in the ring, the ones that I find interesting are absolutely none of them. The Valkyrie who put the whole, like, you know, Ragnarok together, and Zeus and all the other gods on the sideline, they are not interesting at all when they're on the sidelines. I feel like it's pretty ironic that I'm complaining about all the exposition and explanation, but here I am going on a tangent about how they talk too much. So anyway, I just don't really get it when you're producing an anime and you want to stretch a show out, or you want to like fill in the time and stuff. Don't do it with like cheap animation and dialogue. Like, I don't understand. If you don't have the resources to make an anime, or you're not willing to spend the money, just don't do it. I would just prefer to like let a story remain in manga form forever, because I then feel like you're not doing the story justice. It really sucks. I would be really mad if I was the manga artist for this particular story. And on that note, speaking of the manga, after I was done with that first season, I went ahead and took a look at some of the art panels. I just skimmed through everything up to where I saw in the anime. I honestly feel like I would have been much more forgiving of some of like the extra dialogue and other stuff if I had that art style in the anime, because it's just so expressive and interesting. Like I really gotta praise the art of this particular artist, but it just did not carry over, which is really weird, because I gotta say that like for me personally, when I'm choosing a new anime to watch, I don't watch anime unless somebody really recommends it. I'm not really watching an anime if all the art looks the same as other anime. You know what I mean? Like that same exact anime style that like a lot of shows have, like, you know, like those little romance shows or like the slice of life anime that they got out there that all look exactly the same. Record of Ragnarok, the anime, looks exactly like those. And when you look at the manga art versus the anime art, it doesn't even look like the same thing. It does not look like it's created by the same person at all. Okay, I think you get it. Enough of the negatives about this show. I really do feel like there are some things to really appreciate, because this is a good show to like watch in the background. Obviously, if they were to fix all the things I just complained about, this would have been a lot more spectacular. And some of those things I complained about were probably quite bad in the manga too, just like specifically the art style and other things like that was definitely the fault of the anime. I do like how unique the actual combatants are. They don't look the way that they do in the mythology that we typically know them for. Like Thor got red hair, got like all these weird ass lines, and his hammer, I think Mjolnir was always alive. I don't know. I'm not really like a professional on mythology. I just thought that was pretty cool that the inside of Thor's hammer was like flesh and it's like alive and throbbing for battle and shit. And after seeing Zeus survive Adam's fight, I did not expect to see that like Poseidon would be the one to die first. But I love that samurai's backstory. Like he actually wins, but like in his head, like that's genius, you know. It's not the first anime to do that though. Let me get this straight. Like that's not the first time I've seen that happen, but the way that it was told in this particular story was quite unique. Gotta give it its props. I think the last thing I want to touch on is the fight between Adam and Zeus. That's definitely the most hyped up fight, and whenever I heard anything about the show, it was everybody always talked about Adam and Zeus. Nobody ever said any details about it because I didn't click on the videos and posts. Like I would just scroll past so I didn't get spoiled. So I was expecting a lot more than what we got. I thought the concept of Adam was pretty cool. So the shock value of his death, of Adam's death, and not even being able to kill Zeus in the end was actually pretty shocking. I thought he had it in the bag, but some of the moves that Zeus was using was like super played out, and a lot of those scenes were pretty laughable. Just gotta say that. But then again, anything I try to animate would probably be quite laughable as well. I was supposed to be talking about positives, but I went back to negatives. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. They did it to themselves, alright? But I'd be willing to give this anime a second chance. If they decide to like adapt the actual art style from the manga and they fix some of the things from season 1, I can continue on watching. This show was not unwatchable in the first place. It just, like I said, compared to everything else, it's not that crazy. And it's not straight up unwatchable like God of High School. You know, it's not on that low of a level. It's just a good anime. Would I recommend it to anybody? No, not really. There's so many things I would recommend before Record of Ragnarok, but I still need stuff to watch, so I will be giving it a second chance when it comes out. By the way, if you made it this far into the video, thanks a bunch. Like that really means a lot to me, and probably means that you liked the video, so why not actually physically hit that like button? It'll really help the channel out a lot. Hit the subscribe button as well for more content just like this, and I promise to make it worth your while. You just gotta talk to me in the comments and tell me what else you'd like to see me talk about. That's all you gotta do. The most important part right there, talk to me in the comments, because if I don't know what you guys want, then I'll just keep making subpar content, I guess. And lastly, talk to me about this anime. What did you think? Was it bad to you? Was it one of the best that you've seen this year? Or was it god-awful or an unwatchable? How much do you relate to what I've said? I'm really curious to see if there's anybody out there that actually like really enjoyed it. But anyways, I'm out of here, guys. It's been great talking to you. Love you guys. Peace.